Hey guys, this is Blaziken Blitz here for our Week 3 matchup for the El Paso Enteis in the IBF League International Battle Federation, and we're here with our Week 3 matchup, again post-commentated. Hopefully I won't have to do too many of those, but here we are. This one is against Sean, the coach of the Durrington Deinos, and as you can see right off the bat, his team has a big weakness to ice. So we brought Mamoswine. That is basically the gist of it. We brought Mamoswine to deal so much damage across the board with all of the ice type moves. We brought Mega Metagross again because really all it needs is Ice Punch and a stab move and everything here dies. We also brought Pursuit on it because that can trap both Celebi and Latios, which both can present kind of big problems to my team, depending. And I believe I brought a Rock type move on it too. Perhaps Stone Edge? Anyway, we brought what we needed to bring on Mega Metagross. We didn't bring a Jilligross again, but hey, we can't bring those sets every time, can we? But we brought Starmie this time because he outspeeds pretty much everything on his team, and again, ice coverage is so valuable against his team that an Ice Beam from Starmie, especially a Life Orb Analytic Starmie, is going to put in so much work. We brought Dusknoir, partly because he has Shedinja on his team, and he didn't bring it, but that thing could pose a huge problem if not prepared, and he has a lot of good mons. He has, let me look here. He has Gyarados. Yeah, he has Gyarados. He has Caracosta. He has Shedinja. All things that really don't want a Will-O-Wisp in the face. And Dusknoir has the perfect defensive typing to take them on. And so that's pretty much exactly why I brought him. I brought Rotom-Mow this week because, again, that Gyarados, and Electric and Grass coverage is not that bad against his team. It puts in a lot of work, and it's not perfect, but since his Mega is Mega Charizard Y, Scarf Rotom-Mow allows me to just Volt Switch and do a ton of damage against it. And that's why I brought the Rock move on Mega Metagross, because he has Mega Charizard Y, and that thing could put in a lot of work if he actually brought it, but he didn't. And I brought Hydreigon again with, I believe it's pretty much the same set. I might have brought a different coverage move, but Hydreigon, it has Roost, it has Dark Pulse, it has Draco. That's all it really needs for this matchup. And so, oh yeah, and I brought Stone Edge on it too in case of Mega Charizard Y. So that's the team. I believe in this matchup, I don't remember who I started off with, actually. But I thought he would lead off with let's just press play. He leads off with Lando, I lead off with Starmie. Okay, I pretty much predicted the Lando switch in, but then I'm just like, well, I don't know if he's Scarf or not. And then I bring in Dusknoir, and that was probably a bad decision because the knockoff could definitely be incoming. So he brings in Salamence, not quite sure why, but this gives me a prime opportunity to use Ice Punch on Dusknoir, because that's one of the big reasons why I brought Ice Punch in this first place, was for Salamence. And he Toxics me and takes that quite well. So I know he has to be some sort of defensive set, because I did calcs on this beforehand, and I'm pretty sure Ice Punch did more than that at least. So he roosts, and I decide, hey, this thing could definitely use a burn. So I just decide to burn it. I don't know, I didn't know, like, exactly what kind of defensive set it was, whether it was Defog or like a defensive Dragon Dance or whatever, so I didn't want to take my chances. This brings in a perfect opportunity to bring in Metagross, so I just Mega up and go for the Ice Punch because I don't want to overpredict this early, and he brings in Lando T as I'm Mega Evolving, so I get the Clear Body protecting me from Intimidate, and then Mega Evolve and Ice Punch the Lando, which meant I was ecstatic at the time, and then he brings in his next Mon, and the realization hits me. He brings in Dugtrio, and I realize that my Metagross is gone for the rest of the match. So, for some reason, for style or whatever, I decide to go for Zen Headbutt, and it misses. So, Ice Punch would have at least helped there, because now he still has his Sash intact, and I lose my Metagross to Earthquake. So, that happened, and big misplay of the day right there. So, here's another misplay. I bring in Rotom-Mow, and I decide, okay, I want to get rid of that Sash. So I decide to use Trick, and he brings in his Celebi. Even if I had brought in, given the Scarf to the Dugtrio, that would have been pretty bad. Anyway, he U-turns, and now I have leftovers. And I believe I Volt Switch here? I Willow. Because I was predicting either the Electivire, yeah, pretty much the Electivire or the Dugtrio switch in. And I decided to let Rotom die to Draco, because I really don't have anything that likes to take it. Which is kind of a theme that goes around with this Latias for pretty much the whole match. And so I bring in Starmie, because I know I can revenge it at this point, and nothing on his team wants to take an Ice Beam. So I just decide to go for an Ice Beam. And he brings in Celebi, and that does quite a bit of damage, but I know I don't 2-hit KO. So at this point I decide to switch out into Dusknoir, because I'm just like, okay, I can go for a Shadow Sneak on something, but he U-turns. And that allows him to bring back out Latias, I believe. No, he brings out Salamence again, and I'm just like, well, I don't know how to deal with this thing, because Ice Punch just doesn't do enough. But I decide, okay, well, he's at low health anyway, I'm just going to go for Ice Punch again anyway. And he roosts. So, this has been a nice turn of me just getting Toxic Stalled. I was thinking excellently during this match. Totally. So, at this point, I realize I can't do anything against this thing. And I believe I swap in Starmie, because I know he's burned, he's probably not going to kill me. Yeah, I bring in Starmie, and he Dragon Tails. So Starmie's out of there, and in comes Hydreigon. And I'm just like, well, I don't know if this thing is... I don't know what this thing is, but I'm pretty sure I outspeed it because it's defensive. So I just go for a Draco, and he brings in Celebi, and that thing dies to a Draco. Because pretty much everything on his team dies to a Draco at this point, and that's always nice. So I believe at this point he brings in Latias, and I'm just like, well, I don't want my Hydreigon taking a Draco, because Hydreigon and Mamoswine are pretty much my win cons for the rest of the game. So I bring in Dusknoir, because it's pretty much the most sackable thing on my team, and if it lived, I could go for a Shadow Sneak or something. And it dies to a Draco. After the battle, he told me it was Specs. I probably should have figured from that, but I didn't really do the calc, so I wasn't sure. So I bring in Starmie again, and I'm just like, okay, time to Ice Beam again. And he just decides to bring in to keep Latias in, because, again, nothing on his team wants to take an Ice Beam. So, I believe at this point, yeah, he brings in Electivire, and I'm just like, oh, okay. So I wanted to sack off Starmie at this point, because I pretty much won. And he ends up being Scarf Electivire, and if he had actually, like, killed me with Cross Chop there, it would have, like, been GG right there. But, it was a misclick. And so, Electivire dies, and I pretty much win the game from here. He has Reversal on his Dugtrio, as you'll see in a minute when I Dark Pulse with Hydreigon. But, in the end, it doesn't really matter, because he doesn't do enough at first with it, and then I have Ice Shard on Mamoswine. So, whether or not that misplay mattered, I mean, if it had actually killed, it would have been a completely different story, but it kind of... I don't know. I don't want to think about it, honestly. But Mamoswine comes in here, he Ice Shards, because I don't want to deal with this Dugtrio any longer. It's caused me way too much trouble during this match. And then Salamence comes in, and I'm just like, well, I don't want to try to deal with using Ice Shard at this point, even though it's burned, so I just go for the Freeze Dry. I take it out, and that'll be a 1-0 victory for the El Paso Enteis. And a very close battle full of me not thinking. Everyone's gonna have those battles. I just wish I didn't as often. But I ended up winning somehow, and I pull out the 1-0 victory, and the El Paso Enteis are 2-0. 2-0. The Durrington Deinos, who put up a way better fight than I probably should have let you. But that, my friends, makes the El Paso Enteis 2-0 with a differential of +4. And now, next week, we are going to be facing the Baton Rouge Bayonets and their coach, Spook, who actually has a YouTube channel, which I'm going to actually link in the description if you haven't seen my team builder video. But he is an awesome YouTuber, and you guys should totally check him out. I believe he'll be uploading his battles that he's missed soon-ish, maybe. But, yeah, that was our Week 3 battle. Everybody root for the El Paso Enteis, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.